Hi, and welcome back to X's and O's with Dan Orlovsky. I'm Mike O'Hara, and once again, we're brought to you by Xfinity and Dano. Detroit Lions still on a losing streak since we talked last week, and this week they're going to the Denver Broncos, Mile High City. One thing about it, Dan, the Detroit Lions now are going to face their fourth rookie quarterback in Drew Lock of Missouri, drafted 10th in the second round by the Broncos after Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, and Dwayne Haskins. This would be the fourth start for Drew Lock. And is there any sort of thread that binds this rookie quarterback class of 2019 together?
They're all really athletic. They all have really live arms. You see these guys make plays with their feet. And really, the biggest challenge, there's a benefit to playing a rookie quarterback because they're rookies. There's also challenges. You don't have a ton of tape on them. You don't know what their strengths are. You don't know what their flaws are. You don't know how to attack them necessarily. But the biggest thing is all these kids, for the most part, played a ton of snaps in college. And then, they're really athletic outside of the pocket.
All right, Dan, now let's get down to the X's and O's. We're going into the second quarter here. Tight end Noah Fant, a 43-yard pass from Drew Lock, deep left. Break it down. Give us the X's and O's. Tell us what you see.
Yeah, I like that you started with Noah Fant because he's a big part of their pass game. He's a rookie draft pick out of the University of Iowa, very big, very athletic guy. This is a run-based offense. We see so much run-based and play-action offenses in the NFL. It's because they work. Rick Scangarello, their offensive coordinator, does a really good job of situational play-action. He's not just calling a play-action just because. He is the type of coach that'll do it on 2nd and 1. He is the type of coach that'll do it on 4th and 1, where you're thinking, surely here's going to come run. So they get into this, kind of slot set, and they're going to play action, and they're just going to bluff Noah Fant as a blocker. You're just going to be the cutoff guy. They're going to motion away. He's going to bluff this guy covering him. So then you're going to think, eyes in the backfield, here comes the run, and they just release him out. And so that just puts those defenders, they get a little lost in it. But that's more tied to the situation of the play call. So the Lions really hold defensively have to be really tied in, both play caller and players on the field, of not just thinking, oh, it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, and they're going to run the football. They will take some play action shots with Noah Fant situationally.
Well, Dan, let me add my iota of expertise to this discussion here. When you look at the play-by-play there and you look at the plays that we're looking at, it's obvious that it's snowing. It's a snowy field. When you're preparing, does that mean anything when you're preparing for that offense, the conditions they're playing under the previous game?
Yeah, of course. How do you want make sure you don't put yourself in situations to hurt your football team? You're not going to be careless with the football. You're going to be strategic with how you go about calling your plays. You might be a little bit more dependent on runs that are downhill rather than side to side because of the footing.
Now, Dan, we're going to move along to the third quarter. It was a tough day for running the ball, but Philip Lindsay of the Denver Broncos really been a good, strong runner despite his size. Break it down on this 13-yard run around left end. Give us the X's and O's. Tell us what you see.
Well, another part of this play is Noah Fant, right? So they're going to motion him down, and then he becomes the puller for them. They like to pull him in their run game. Philip Lindsay is a really good tailback when he's got a block to read. He likes to set blocks up. So they pull Noah Fant around. They get some down blocks. They fan out the tackle. And then now Philip Lindsay has a tight end leading, and he's going to be the guy that becomes the read of the block. Do I think I can go outside, or do I think I slip up inside? And it's a really good combination that they have. A lot of the times when you see shotgun in the NFL, you think, okay, shotgun pass, especially with some tight end motion. The Broncos do a good job of utilizing tight end motion, getting in the shotgun, and still you being able to use their run game. But Philip Lindsay, just a good back and understanding, kind of body leverage, understanding where a guy is going to be in the blocking and setting that block up. See how he has vision, kind of just patient, and then sees Noah Fant's got a hat on a hat. He gets on his body, and I can get speed to the outside. Very fast tailback as well.
Okay, we're going to move along now to the fourth quarter, and the Broncos end up losing this game 23-3, so they don't score any points. But here's a big play. 2nd and 10 at their own 1-yard line, 34-yard pass to Cortland Sutton. Break it down. Tell us what you see. Give us the X's and O's.
Yeah, if I was a Lions fan, I just would be really interested in watching Darius Slay match up against Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton's probably a name that a lot of people don't know. He is a superstar in the making at wide receiver. He's about 6'5", 220 pounds, and they do different ways to get him the football. Here's 2 ways they love to do it. They love to take deep shots with him down the field, and then they love to just do these little screens where, Lions fans are obviously very familiar with a guy named Calvin Johnson. And we used to do this stuff with Calvin all the time. I'm not putting him even in the same category as Calvin, but they like to use him in certain ways of, this is a way for him to get a touch. It's an easy completion, and you get the big fella out there in space, and he's a difficult tackle. You're going to see some broken tackles. Do not go punching at the football. Do not go think you're going to wrap him up high. You're going to have to go full body tackle on Cortland Sutton. I just would be interested in to watch how Darius Slay matches up against him, because they're going to do some stuff where they're going to force Slay to come up and make some tackles on Cortland Sutton and then cover deep. And it'll be a really fun matchup to watch.
All right, Dan Orlovsky, before we wrap it up this week, we've talked about the running game, the passing game. If you're the Detroit Lions and you're preparing for the Denver Broncos and another rookie quarterback, give us one or two keys defensively for the Lions.
Well, again, you don't know what Drew Lock can handle. You don't have enough tape on him, so figure it out. I would throw a lot at him coverage-wise and change some coverages at the snap. You saw that early on against the Bucs last week, and it equates to an interception. And so I think you need to try and confuse. I always say this, young quarterbacks, don't play man coverage, play zone coverage on them. Make them think, make them see, and then throw into windows rather than picking a guy and saying, I'll throw it to him.
All right, Dan Orlovsky, that's a wrap for this week. Detroit Lions at Denver Broncos next Sunday, kickoff 4:05 p.m. Detroit time.